Okay, for the pre-trip inspection, these are the instructions you follow. For the vehicle inspection, please conduct an inspection of the vehicle as outlined in Section 11 of the CDL Driver Manual. You may use the vehicle inspection memory aid from the CDL Driver Manual if you want to. As you do your inspection, please point to or touch the item or items you are inspecting and fully explain what you are inspecting for on each item. If you do not do so, you will not get credit for that item. First, you're going to start by inspecting all items on the front of the vehicle, all components visible in the engine compartment. Next, get in your vehicle, start the engine, and do the in-cab inspection, to include the brake check. Do you have any questions?
No.
After you've completed your in-cab inspection, shut your engine off, get out of the vehicle, and continue your external inspection down the driver's side and around the back of the vehicle. I want you to inspect the steer axle, the front drive axle, and the front trailer axle. If there are any items that are unique to the other side of the vehicle, inspect those items. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
For the truck, we're going to be checking for the leaks, leans, and lenses. On the leaks, we check to see if there's any water, oil, and and diesel leaks. We're checking on the lenses to see if there's any cracks, damage, and we're also going to be checking for the leans. Maybe a flat tire, a load is shifted, or a bad suspension. On this side, we're going to check our coolant level. It's at operation range. It's properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're checking our alternator, properly secured, not cracked, damaged. We're also checking the belt. It is a belt driven. We're checking the belt to see if there's any cuts, frays, and the belt should have no more than 3/4 of play. We're checking the alternator if it's properly secured, mounted, and it's also a belt driven. The belt should have no more than 3/4 of a play and should have no cuts or frays. We're also checking the frame to see if there's any illegal welds or drill holes. Okay. On the other side. Checking the mirrors properly. On this side, we're going to check our oil level. If it's at level, there's no water or any metal shavings in the oil. We're also going to check our air compressor. It's properly secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're checking our power steering pump, properly secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're checking our reservoir and our hoses, properly secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're checking the power steering drive, not properly secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're checking for the linkage, properly secured, not cracked, damaged, and we're also checking for the castle pin and the cotter pin, properly secured. We're also going to be checking for our suspensions. We're checking for the front and back hangers, properly mounted, secured, not cracked. We're also going to be checking for our leaf springs, not cracked, damaged, or scissor. We're also going to be checking our U-bolt, properly secured, not cracked, damaged, or missing. We're also checking our shock absorber, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're going to be checking our airlines. Airlines not cracked, damaged, or leaking. Our brake chamber, properly secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're checking our slack adjuster, properly secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're checking our push rod. If it's not bent or damaged, we're going to be checking the brake drums, not cracked, damaged, or discoloration, which will indicate overheating. We're also going to check our brake shoes, not cracked, damaged, or leaking, or oil soaked, and should have no less than 1/4 of brake shoes. Then we're going to check our tires for any abrasions, bulges, or cuts. We're also going to check the tire depth. The front should be no more than 430 seconds, no less than 430 seconds. Check with the gauge tires are even threads, even worn threads. We're also going to be checking, and the tire pressure as well should be 100 psi or manufacturer specification. We're going to be checking our wheels for any spinal web cracks in between the vent holes. We're also going to be checking for our lug nuts. They're all there, properly secured. There is no sign of shininess or rust, which will indicate it's loose. We're also going to check our hub wheel. Our hub properly secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. And we're also checking for our valve stem, properly secured with the cap and not bent or damaged. Now we're going to check the driver door, see if it opens and it closes properly. We're also going to check the seal around the door, that it's there. We're checking our hinges, see if our hinges are not bent, damaged. We're also going to check our doors, our windows, if it closes and opens properly. We're also going to check our mirrors. It's properly secured, mounted. Examiner, would you like to go in the front so we can conduct the light test? Left blinker, right blinker, low beam, high beam. Examiner, can you please hold on? Just 4 ways. Examiner, can you step in the back of the tractor, please? Left blinker.
Good.
Right blinker.
Good.
4 ways.
Good.
Brake lights.
Good.
Examiner, can you please step in the back of the trailer, please? Left blinker.
Good.
Right blinker. 4 ways. Brake. Now we're going to conduct the air brake test, which before I do that, let me start with the seatbelt. I'm going to check my seatbelt. If it clicks and unclicks, if it locks and unlocks, and I'm also checking for any cuts or frays on the seatbelt. I'm going to do a safe start on the truck. Okay, now I'm going to check my windshield for any cracks or any illegal stickers. I'm also going to check my mirrors if they're properly adjusted and not crack damaged. And I'm also going to check my gauges. I'm checking my oil gauge if it's in operation range. I'm also going to check my temperature gauge. I'm going to check my volt gauge. It should be between 12 to 14 volts. I'm also going to check my air pressure building up and my fuel gauge. And now I'm going to check my heater, see if it defrost is working. Working. Now I'm going to check the bottom vents, see if they're working. They're working. I'm also going to check my windshield wipers. They're working properly. I'm going to check my city horn. Highway horn. I'm also going to check my blinkers. Left blinker, right blinker, my 4 ways, properly working. My dash light. I'm also going to check my high beams. properly working. I'm also going to, now we're going to do the brake test, which I'm going to do a safe. I'm going to turn off the truck safely. I'm going to turn it back on now. Pushing the brakes. Now I'm going to do a service brake check to see if there's any leaks. I'm going to hold on to the brake. I'm going to push the pedal down, hold it down at 90 psi for about a minute. We should lose no more than 4 psi within a minute. And there's a minute. We haven't lost no air pressure. Now I'm going to do the warning light. See if it comes on. A warning light will come on, or a buzzer at or before 60 psi. So when I start pumping the brakes around 60 or before 60, I'm going to get a buzzer or a light coming on. And there we got the light coming on and it says stop. Now I'm going to do the spring brake test, which will be when it gets between 40 to 20 psi. The trailer brake should come on before the tractor. And there it is. Now I'm going to do a safe start, and I'm also going to check the governor cut in and cut out. It should cut out between 120 to 125 psi. Revving up the engine between 1,000 and 1,500 RPM so it can start building up pressure. The governor is cutting in because it's starting to move up already. And we're just checking for the cutout. There's our cutout point. Now we're going to check, we're going to do a tug test. We're going to check the trailer brakes, see if it's holding. Then we're going to check the tractor brakes, see if it's holding as well. Full brake applied. I'm going to put the truck into gear. And I'm going to push in the trailer to check the tractor first. And it's holding. Now I'm going to check the trailer, see if the trailer's holding. I'm going to release the tractor. And it's holding as well. Now we're going to do a 5 miles per hour. We're going to go down 5 miles per hour. I'm going to hold my steering wheels. I'm going to see if there's any pulling to the left or right, and I'm also checking to see if the ABS light will go on, which if it does, bring it to the shop to get it fixed. Which the steering wheel didn't pull to the left or right, or the ABS light did not come on. So we're good over here. Do you want to step outside and finish doing our test with the outside? We're going to check our emergency equipment. We're going to check our fire extinguisher. It's a VC10, fully charged, properly secured. We're also going to check for our triangles and our spare fuses. Our spare fuses or breakers, which is in here. Now we're going to check the side of the truck, see if there's any cuts, damages, which there's not. I'm also going to check the steps. They're properly mounted, secured, not missing. We're going to check the back steps, properly secured, not damaged or missing. We're going to check the catwalk. Catwalk is clear, free of debris, properly secured, mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. We're going to check our gas cap, properly secure. We're going to check our gas tank, no cracks, damage, or leak. We're going to check our hanger, gas tank hanger, properly secure, not cracked, damaged, or leaking, or not cracked, damaged, or missing. We're going to check the back of the tractor for the reflectors, the lights, and the rivets, not damaged or missing. We're going to check our air lines. We're going to check our air lines and our electrical lines, not damaged, cut, or frays. We're also going to check our drive shaft, not bent, damaged. We're going to check our U-joint, free of debris, not damaged. We're also going to check the back of the tractor. Check the corner markers, the rivets. They're all there, fine. We're also going to check our splash guard, properly secured, mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. We're going to check our control arm, properly secured, mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. We're going to check our leaf spring, properly secured, not cracked, damaged, or scissored. We're going to check our U-joints, or U-bolts, not cracked, damaged, or missing. We're going to check our shock absorber, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're going to check our airbags for any cuts or leaks. We're also going to check now our brake line. In our brake line, we're checking the air line, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. The brake chamber, properly secured, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're checking the slack adjusters. With the wheels chucked, the brakes released, you should have no more than 1 inch free play. We're also going to check our push rod, not bent or damaged. We're going to check our brake drum, not cracked, damaged, or discolored, which will indicate overheating. We're checking our brake shoes, which is not cracked, damaged, or oil soaked, and should have no less than 1/4 inch of brake shoes. We're going to check our tires. Our tires are evenly worn, and they're checked. We check the depth of it. It's 230 seconds. Checked with the gauge. The tire air pressure is 100 psi or manufacturer specification. These are Bud wheels. They're evenly spaced, no debris in between. We're also going to check our rim. We're going to check for any spiderweb cracks between the vent holes. We're going to check our lug nuts to see if there's any rust or shyness, which will indicate looseness. We're going to check our hub wheel, our hub, see if there's any crack, damage, or leaking on it. Now we're going to check also our valve stem. It's not bent, damaged, and has a cap. Now we're going to check our fifth wheel. Our fifth wheel, checking the apron and the skid plate, not cracked, damaged, and there's no gap in between it. We're checking our release arm, which is secure, not cracked, damaged. We're checking our mounting plate, not cracked, damaged. We're checking our mounting bolts, not cracked, damaged, or missing. We're checking the release pins, they're properly secured. We're also going to check our actuator, if it's air powered, check for leaks. Then we're going to come back here. We're going to check our kingpin, not bent and damaged. We're also going to check our locking jaw, if it's in the locking position. We're going to check our lights and reflectors. And we're also going to check our mud flaps. Our mud flaps should be no more and no less than 3 inches from the floor. We're also going to check the distance between the wheel and the landing gear, which is good, so when we make a turn, it won't hit. We're also going to check our landing gears and the cross beams, which they're all there, not damaged, cracked, or missing. We're going to check the side of the trailer for any cuts, damages. We're also going to check our reflectors. All reflectors are there. We should have a minimum of 90% reflectors. We're also going to check our turn signal, which is here, properly secured. We're also going to check our tandem arm release, which is in a locked position, not bent, damaged, or missing. We're checking our pins. They're in a locked position. We're also going to check our brake lines. Our brake lines are properly secured, a minimum of 18 inches from the floor. We're going to check our brake lines, not damaged, cracked, or leaking. We're going to check our brake chambers. Brake chambers properly mounted, not cracked, damaged, or leaking. We're checking our slack adjusters. Our slack adjusters with the wheels chucked, the brakes released. We should have no more than 1 inch free play. Checking our push rod. Our push rod is not bent or damaged. We're going to check our brake drum. Our brake drum not cracked, damaged, or discolored, which would indicate of overheating. We're checking our brake shoes. Our brake shoes not cracked, damaged, or oil soaked, and should have no less than a 1/4 inch of pad. We're also going to check our torque arm, which is properly secured, not damaged. We're checking our leaf springs. Leaf springs are properly mounted, not cracked, damaged, or scissored. We're checking our U-bolt, not cracked, damaged, or missing. We're checking the wheels. These are Bud wheels as well. They're evenly spaced. There's no debris in between them. We're checking the tires. The tires are even worn threads. Tires should be no less than 2/32 checked with gauge. Tire pressure, it's 100 psi or manufacturer specification. And we're also going to be checking for any abrasion, cuts, or bulges on the tires as the tandem and the drive axle as well. We're going to check our vent holes for any spiderweb cracks. We're also going to check our lug nuts. They're all there. We're checking for any rust or shininess, which will indicate it's loose. We're checking our hub seal, see if any crack, damages, or leak. We're checking our valve stem, not bent, damaged, or leaking, and it has a cap. We're going to come over here. We're going to check our mud flaps. Our mud flaps are not. Our mud flaps should be no more than 8 inches, no less than 3 inches from the floor, properly mounted, secured. Checking the corner marker lights here. Checking the back of the truck, the trailer. We're checking for our hinges, properly mounted, secured, not cracked, damaged, or missing. We're checking our seal around the doors. The seals are there, and seals. We're checking our lights and our DOT stickers. They're all there, the reflectors. We're checking our DOT bumper, which has also the reflectors on it. We're checking our plates, and we're checking the light for the plates, which is there. We're checking our ties, door ties. It's also there. Now we're going to check this, the passengers, the right side the same way we did with the left, just with 3 extra stuff on it. We're going to check our turn signal. We're going to check our fifth wheel release, emergency release, our fifth wheel emergency release. And we're also going to check our exhaust. If it's properly secured, not damaged, cracked, or leaking. If it's leaking, you'll see sign of SUD. And examiner, this will end my test.